What's going on, guys? Alright, so it is another day, and just a little update on the car. We finally picked a new wideband sensor up, got that in the mail, and hopefully, I think I mentioned this on the last video. I think I got the oil leak fixed. Like I said, it was coming back behind the intake here. I just retorqued the intake down, and didn't see anything leaking from there. So hopefully got that fixed. It's still dripping a little bit on the ground, but I kind of expect that since it did run down the between the motor and the bell housing. So I'm sure there's going to be some excess oil still on the block, and it's just going to work its way down due to gravity. But looks a little cluttered right now. I'll get that fixed once we get the wideband in, and let me show you what I got. Alright, so as you know, this is my old wideband here. This is not a Bosch sensor. This is a innovative sensor, and according to a lot of reviews online, these sensors fail pretty often. So I know a lot of y'all guys, I read a lot of y'all guys comments from the last video saying the sensor should be back so many inches and all. According to paperwork on my sensor, it did say it needed to be back at least 20 inches. But another thing I want to point out too is I ran this sensor on the old motor as well. Same spot and everything. So here's the old downpipe. Ignore all the junks on it, but there's the old bung. You notice it's shorter than the one I got on now. The one I got on the pipe now is actually taller. Supposedly it keeps the sensor from going down into the pipe, and it's just supposed to be flush. As soon as you tighten all the way down, it's supposed to be flush. Very bottom this bung here, so it ain't getting the direct heat, or I guess I'm saying that direct heat off it. So the bung's a little bit taller, so the sensor sticks up just a little bit. Versus the one here on the on-3 pipe, you notice it's shorter, so the O2 or the wideband sensor is going further down in the pipe. And you noticed this pipe's actually, I measured both of them. This bung's actually an inch shorter than I have it on now. This is 12 inches. The one I have on the pipe now is about 13 inches. Automotive recommends have at least 20 inches, so it'll be further down the pipe. But like I said, I ran that sensor on this pipe with the old motor. Plenty of wide open throttle pulls, and didn't have any problems with the sensor. So I think what killed the sensor was when I first had the problems with the timing, and it was just dumping fuel into the motor, and the timing is off. It wasn't burning it, so it was just pushing through the exhaust. I think that's what killed the sensor. All that excess fuel just being dumped into the exhaust. So the new sensor I got here is a Bosch. It's got a lot better reviews on it. Got it on Amazon, pretty cheap. I got it for like 50 bucks. Everywhere else is going for about, say for example, Summit, well, they wanted $75 for the sensor. Then you got tax on it. Didn't pay tax. I didn't pay tax on this, so it was like 45 bucks, including shipping. It was actually next day. I have Amazon Prime membership, so I get free 2-day and free, actually sometimes free 1 day as well. So, and it comes pretty quick. I actually ordered it that night. It came the next day by noon, so I actually got this pretty quick, and for the price it was good. I already pulled it out. Just seeing the similarities of the sensor. One thing I did notice, has a longer wire on it. Feels like a better wire, a little more better protection with heat. If you can compare the two sensors here, they're pretty much identical. Looks like the Bosch is just a little bit longer. I know it also comes with some anti-seize already on the threads, so that's a plus. I don't have to put any anti-seize on it. So just gonna calibrate the new sensor here, and we'll be ready to go. Alright guys, so we got the new wideband in, got it calibrated. Did have to make a few adjustments to adjust the air fuel, the tuner studio, and the ECU was seeing. Wasn't much, just a little bit. So just a little bit though can affect tuning. So we got that sorted out. Before I take it out of the garage, as you can see, I got down on all fours again. I'm gonna fix a little bit of this wiring here, kind of put it back where it was. Then I'm gonna get the car out, get the laptop with me, plug it in, and we're gonna try to do a little tuning. Just do a little driving around the block. And so motor's already warmed up, so we can go straight to tuning as soon as we can leave the driveway. Won't be able to record any of it as I'm just by myself. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna plug the laptop in, do a little driving around the neighborhood here, and see what we can come up with. What's up guys? So just doing a little work on the car this evening, and just want to check out these spark plugs, see how bad they were. Well, here's all 8 of them, and here, I don't know what the camera picked this up. As you can see, it's dirty, real dirty, real fouled up, causing a lot of my problems. But I decided to get a new set of plugs. Well, I already got them all in, but for one. Check out the difference. See it? This whole time, I had the wrong plug in this motor. I got Autolite 23s, which is what these are, but they're not Autolite 3923s. As you can see, the correct spark plug has a lot more threads on it, which results go further down in the head. This is the correct plug for this head. These are not. So it's kind of a good thing it started acting crazy now, before we start putting boost at it, because more likely it would probably strip these out of the head. Because there's not a whole lot of threads. So it's probably what, 1, 2, about 6 or 7 threads, versus this is probably got about 10 or 11 or so. So this is the correct plug. I don't know if I was just drinking too much while I was putting these in, I just didn't catch it, or what, but these are the wrong plugs for these heads. And when I gapped these at 32 thousandths. I don't know why I gapped them that far out. And I got the new ones, I got them at 28 thousandths. So I don't know what happened the night I put these plugs in. I don't know. I don't know, I just drank too much or what. But got the new plugs, the correct plugs, and I got them gapped to 28 thousandths, and I should do well with that. So yeah, I do make mistakes. As you can see, it's another day. I figure I should finish this video I started. Probably gonna be jumping around quite a bit, but it is what it is. I want to finish this video on the plugs, the new plugs I put into it. I can say is the car runs so much better. It was literally almost a night and day difference. It fired right up, it idled good. You hit the gas, it didn't stutter, it didn't stumble or hesitate. It just revved up. it ain't perfect, but you can tell the difference in it. And I even drove this car actually a few miles. I felt pretty confident with it. I drove a few miles around the block, and it drove good. So the whole time I was tuning this car, the problems I was having was when you start giving it gas, it would immediately run extremely rich. It'll dip down in the high 9s and the 10s on the air fuel gauge, and that's probably why I killed the first sensor, because the computer was putting so much fuel in, and it just wasn't burning it. It was just pushing it out through the exhaust, and that's what kills wideband sensors. So that's more likely what killed it, not heat, because I want to say is on the last motor, on the 302, this sensor's in the same exact spot, and it lived for a year, no issues. I had to recalibrate it once, and I didn't have any problems with it. Even the manual says you'll need to recalibrate if you run a rich tune. So I think that's what really killed it, was just dumping fuel into the exhaust and wasn't burning it. And I believe that's what killed that sensor. And you can see from the plugs from the earlier that it was just pitch black. I believe we got the problem fixed. We got the correct plugs in it, and like I said, I drove around the block and it ran good. So I got on a few streets. I was starting to give a little more gas, get the RPMs up. And now, before it would, like I said, it would just run flat pig rich. It would just stumble. It just fall on its face. Now it's like complete opposite. Now you give it gas, it extremely leans out. I mean, it jumps up to 16, 17, 18 on the wideband. Like I said, I'm not going into any boost. This is just like it's all motor. At least I know now. We believe we have the problem fixed with the new plugs. So now what I need to do is add the fuel back into the table I was taking out before with the old plugs. So now I need to add the fuel back in, and hopefully we can get that air fuel fixed. I know the whole VE table wasn't exactly perfect, but it was a good base to start with. So now we just need to go back in and apply the correct amount of fuel and hopefully get our air fuel back to where it's supposed to be. So I'm looking, hopefully I can do a little tuning tomorrow, Saturday here. Should be a pretty nice day. At least I know we'll get somewhere now. We don't want to drive the car too much. Like I said, I still need to do alignment on it. But right now I'm kind of broke, so we're waiting on funds for that. So I'm keeping my driving to a minimum so I don't chew up these front tires. But guys, it's getting really exciting now. I think we're actually getting somewhere with the car. It's sad that it was something that simple as plugs that was causing the problems. I don't know. You know, I went to O'Reilly's. I told them I want some Hourlight 23s. Well, technically they gave me some Hourlight 23s, but what I was really looking for is Hourlight 39 23s, which is a totally different plug. So, but anyways, we're past that. We got the new plugs in. Got them gap a little bit more, 28 thousandths. Versus the old plug we had at 30, 32. Don't really remember. I guess I could check them, but that's done. Now I can probably start cleaning my engine bay back up, all this, tie it up, make sure it don't touch exhaust or anything. Salt and pepper shaker here. We'll get that all fixed up. And I might crank up my fuel pressure just a little bit. Right now I got about 43, 44 PSI. May crank up just a little bit more. May get up to 47, 48. As you know, I'm running an Arismoto 340 in it. With the higher pressure, the pump can handle right around 700 horsepower. So it'll be right around the limits where we're going to push this motor. I think from there the biggest restriction is going to be probably the turbo and stock fuel lines. As you know, I got aftermarket lines here, but back about right here on the fender, the other side of the fender here, got running to stock fuel lines. So we'll see on tuning. If we start seeing it leaning out, then we're just running out of fuel. I'll eventually upgrade the rest of the fuel system. But for right now, I'm just gonna get it driving and we'll get some miles put on before we can start laying the hammer on it. But guys, I'm gonna end this video here. I really don't want to make it too long. It's probably gonna be long as it is. Don't want to bore you to death. But guys, tomorrow we're gonna start tuning for real now, and may try to get the GoPro up in the car so we can get some little bit of tuning action going on. But till next time, guys, I'll see y'all later.